This is Barry Zalma on Insurance. I am an attorney, retired from the active practice of law, and now spend my time as an insurance claims consultant, an insurance claims expert witness, an author and creator of these videos. Today, I'd like to talk about the use of construction experts in construction defect litigation and investigation by claims people into construction defect. In every construction defect claim or lawsuit, the standard of care and its breach must generally be shown through expert testimony. Lay testimony is sometimes sufficient where the defects are of common knowledge. In construction cases and other cases involving licensed professionals, standard of care evidence in negligence matters generally must be provided by expert testimony because the standard of care involved in construction is not an area that comes within the realm of common knowledge. Expert testimony regarding a standard of care is generally not required to establish a breach of contract rather than conduct beneath the standard of care. There are many experts involved, not only in the construction of a building, but also the investigation of any defects that surface after a building is complete. A person faced with liability for a defective structure or a potentially dangerous structure should consider involving various experts early on. Experts are able to help the plaintiff and the defendant establish the following. 1. Existence of defects in a structure. 2. The extent to which the defects pose a danger to property or to the occupancy. 3. Procedures to eliminate the defects. And 4. Additional services or experts needed to more accurately evaluate the situation. Experts and consultants may include any or all of the following professionals. First, the construction consultant. There are few schools that teach construction except those that assist individuals to become licensed general contractors. Consequently, a construction consultant develops his or her expertise by a combination of education, training, and experience as a general contractor in the state where the property is located. He or she also usually has experience in evaluating the work of people in the various construction trades. The construction consultant can also establish his or her credentials by earning a license to construct buildings, and in fact doing so, and by being well read in the field of construction, publishing peer-reviewed articles and books in his or her fields of expertise, and testifying in court on the subject. A construction expert is a person with practical experience rather than one whose knowledge comes from schooling alone. Such experts are considered to be the most effective in providing advice and in convincing a jury of normal, everyday people of the correctness of their advice and stated conclusions. The consultant should also be experienced in the evaluation and management of remedial work and correction of construction deficiencies. Construction consultants often work in teams with other professionals, including management, consultants, engineers, architects, and experienced technicians. A construction consultant reports on the following: hazards and risks, causation and term of property damage, conditions of defects or negligence, post-escrow non-disclosure, construction workmanship, compliance to regulations, damage to repair necessities, replacement cost evaluation, building code requirements, and industry standards. The consultant can also provide information concerning a contractor's performance and responsibilities, contract obligations, job health and safety, documents and plans, asbestos issues, moisture, water flow, intrusion, fire, windstorm, or other construction damage and job site accidents. The consultant can also assist in the duty to comply with building codes and standards, and use the results of any investigations and evaluations of construction or design deficiency to define required corrections. The construction consultant also can be highly experienced in the art and science of construction contract claim analysis, with a thorough understanding of construction-related issues, industry practice, and risk evaluation and dispute resolution techniques. Construction consultant professionals know how to assess complex contractual disputes quickly and have the ability to express themselves clearly in a manner that is understandable to a judge or to a jury of laypersons with no knowledge of construction. The construction consultant also acts as an authority in the evaluation of damages to improvements to real property. He or she should be able to effectively evaluate damages resulting from delay, claims, change orders, and other actions during construction, determine who did the damage, determine what was done to cause the damage, determine when the damage was done, determine how the damage occurred, and produce an honest and verifiable evidence chain. The consultant should be prepared as well to provide the following information about the project that is claimed to have been defective: the consultant's analysis of the original plans and specifications as compared to the structure as built, analysis of the project record in detail, including a relational database of all relevant documents, identification of changes to the scope of work, identification of individual contractor conformance to the schedule, plans, and specifications, and documentary evidence of the effect of failure to comply with plans and specifications on the project and structure. A consultant should also be prepared to provide information about defects, including his or her analysis of all of the defects claimed or established, identification of party or parties responsible for the defects in the as-built structure, and identification of compensable and non-compensable components of the defects in construction or deviation from plans and specifications. The consultant should also be prepared to provide the following information on scheduling: analysis of the original as planned schedule for contract conformance, analysis of the construction schedule to determine if it had any impact on the claimed or actual defects, identification of out-of-sequence work, identification of adverse weather impacts to the schedule, identification of party or parties responsible for a delay or impact to the schedule, documentation of the effect of schedule changes on the project, and prepare a graphic representation of impacts to the schedule. The construction consultant must be ready and able to provide the following financial information to allow the property owner to prove damage: a narrative report outlining the actual damages sustained, actual impact to the work, and changes in a contract time as a result, a narrative report identifying the difference in overhead costs as a result of the damage or defect, documents that are evidence of loss of productivity as a result of the defect or damage, evidence of actual damages incurred by the owner, the structure, and the occupants, evidence of the cost to bring the subject into line with the design plans and specifications, identification of compensable and non-compensable parts of the delay, and accurate and provable reports of damage for presentation to the court or jury or defendant to prove the amount of claim. The consultant must be available to provide sworn testimony at trial or arbitration sufficient to convince the trier of fact in language understandable to a lay jury, members of whom have no experience in construction. When a trial must be held, the construction consultant as an expert is essential to proving the case and convincing the jury that the consultant's client is correct. A construction consultant typically works for a consulting firm or construction organization assisting commercial or residential construction projects by offering expertise and best practices to ensure projects are completed safely and efficiently. Some, when construction business is slow, are working construction professionals who serve as consultants and experts as a sideline. They are often considered more credible than persons whose only work is consulting. In fact, experts with multiple degrees are less believable than a construction consultant whose only expertise is derived from working in the industry, constructing multiple buildings of different types over many years, where his or her expertise is truly based on doing a construction project in the correct manner. Construction consultants must also be capable of designing construction strategies that allow for successful construction planning while providing consultation and overseeing construction project teams. They also oversee and assist with construction budget planning. Other experts include the structural engineer, the geotechnical engineer, the architect. And as an example, an architect typically, depending on his or her experience and status, will design the structure from concept to detailed plans and specifications, prepare project estimates and budgets, prepare building planning programs, act as a liaison between the property owner and the contractors, supervise and administer the project, provide professional advice concerning design, construction, preparation of documents, and hiring contractors and subcontractors, establish, update, and distribute the components necessary to complete the structure and ensure incorporation into the contract documents, and is available to the owner to recommend acceptance or rejection of the builder's suggested alternatives to plans and specifications. A forensic architect analyzes the work already done, reports on the quality of the work and design, and provides opinions and counsel concerning the work needed to cure defects, if any are found. This video was adapted from my book, Construction Defects and Insurance, Volume 1, available as both a Kindle book and as a paperback from Amazon.com and from my website Zalma.com by clicking on the link to the insurance claims library, where you will find an 8-volume set dealing with construction defects and insurance. If you found this video to be of use to you, please pass it on to your colleagues. Please subscribe to my blog and to the YouTube channel to obtain future references to further videos and further blog posting. Thank you again for your attention.